Hello and welcome into another edition of State of the Sun Devils alongside Damon Allred and Jesse Morrison. I'm Jeremy Schnell. Media days are now complete as we're recording this, and they happened in Frisco, Texas. Shout out to everyone down in Frisco, Texas, having great coverage down there. But
a lot of friends.
We're here right back in Arizona talking about what we saw, what we heard, all the sights and sounds. Looked like a lot of fun down there. They were playing video games. They were doing trivia questions. It looked like Jordan Tyson held up the plane for some reason to do trivia questions.
There was like a doggy daycare thing as well.
I saw there were dogs there.
Doing Q&As with about the future of, or the modern era of college sports. Sam did that with
the ever-changing landscape of college football.
Yeah, the ever-changing
Avery Johnson, Jesse's boy.
This one was next to Olivia Miles, the women's basketball star for TCU.
Else.
Maybe
it was a different panel.
There were a lot of different things going on. It seemed like a lot of fun down there for sure.
Yeah, and obviously Kenny Dillingham spoke like 2 or 3 times.
I think more than that.
He's the face of the league at this point, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, so they had his regular presser, they had his scrum, and then they had one where all of the coaches were on a panel at the same time, and I'm sure he probably spoke like 5 other times.
Yeah, and then they had him on Big 12 Radio and ESPNU. And
Brock Osweiler, shout out.
Yeah, I think there was a couple people that got exclusives with him. So yeah, there was quite a lot to sift through here.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously ASU hopes to be back in the Dallas-Frisco DFW area for the Big 12 championship game.
What a segue.
And that's where we're going to start here is, obviously they won the Big 12 last year, won the Big 12 championship last year, got to the college football playoff, and something that we've talked about a lot on this podcast, and Kenny Dillingham has brought up a lot, is sleeping giant. That's the term that everyone has called ASU for as long as we've lived, guys, because obviously they had that Rose Bowl year back in the 90s, the late 90s, and,
Are you guys 90s kids?
We are.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Damon.
We are.
What's that like?
You're aging us. Huh?
Yeah, I'm feeling
Sleeping
old.
giant.
Anyway.
So,
Yeah.
how do they keep the sleeping giant awake? I want to hear from Kenny Dillingham in a second, but I want to get your guys' opinion first, because we've talked about this on the podcast, and it's pretty simple, in my opinion, Damon.
Yeah, it is to me as well. And to me, it starts with just the amount of returning people that are back this season and that experience the run that they went on, and that are able to show the younger guys and the newcomers what it takes, how to approach practices, how to approach meetings, all that sort of stuff. There's going to be that built-in culture of this is what we do here. We go to the playoff at Arizona State. And so once the younger guys start to feel that approach, they will then become the ones that are leading that. And this is what Kenny Dillingham has talked about many times, is that you recruit the future of your program to continue with what the present has done as well. And so I just think that the culture that they're instilling, and to me that is fully established based on everything I saw at spring camp and everything you see at media days and everything in between, I mean, the culture is as good as it can get, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to basically go with similar to Damon, maybe a little bit broader, but I think you've just kind of got to get the right guys in here. And I think this current team has the right guys. Good culture fits.
Sickos.
Good, yeah. Guys that love ball, I think is a huge thing. And like Jeremy said, you had the 90s. The team in the 90s. You had those teams in the early 2010s. The one that went
2014,
the one that went to the Pac-12 championship at the time. It played at ASU, and we had Chris Cartman on Wolf and Luke today, Sun Devil Source publisher, and he talked about how after Stanford won or lost, I can't remember what happened in that game.
It's the Andrew Luck.
Yeah, I believe ASU.
The Pac-12 championship against Stanford,
Yeah,
they got beat up.
Yeah.
Beat up bad.
Yeah. So and he said he just noticed
Good player, Andrew Luck.
Not shabby. Yeah, and he just noticed like a vibe from Stanford that ASU didn't have back then. And now he notices this vibe from ASU that is a lot different than that. Back then, where they're kind of like Stanford was, where they just have this, I guess, just kind of feeling that they belong, I would say, is kind of what he was saying. And so, I think that's kind of the key here is just you got to get good culture guys. You got to, And I think they have that. Like, I think right now they have the guys that they need in this program, and they've just got to do that going forward. And I just think it'll be interesting to watch, though, just going forward, if they can do this, because it's never been done before. Every time ASU has success, except for in the 70s, let's not forget about the Frank Kush era, but they weren't even Power 4 or 5, whatever you want to say it, at that time. So I think now, like, it's really never been done before, and we've got to see it. But I think they have the guys to do it.
It's the biggest expectations that ASU has had for a team since 2021, and you could even say 2015.
I would say 2015,
but
for sure.
When you look at this team, I think it goes way past this year, because you and Damon kind of touched on it, and so do you, Jesse. But you got a lot of guys on this team that may not be here next year, whether it be the draft or graduating or what have you. Kenny Dillingham has shown the ability to recruit and recruit well, whether it be the portal with Sam Leavitt and other guys. And he's shown the ability to get guys, whether it be freshmen, into this program from other states. Now it goes back to the Activate the Valley thing.
Golden tickets.
They need to get guys from in the state, and it's going to come with success if they have another good season this year. It, like you guys said, it goes past this season. If they have another good year this year, great. Next year, litmus test.
Yeah, for sure. I fully agree with that.
Yeah,
it's really interesting that you mentioned that too. Getting a little bit more specific. It's fascinating to see how Sam Leavitt and Jake Fetty have a good relationship already. And Sam, it appears to have helped along that recruitment process and retaining Fetty as well, through, obviously like LSU and other schools have kind of pursued Fetty, but he's maintained ASU through and through. Mentioned at the Elite 11 camp, he's still firmly focused on ASU. And then you see today, Xavier Alfred is on Twitter, in the replies for some of the golden ticket holders. And so it's literally your best players right now are recruiting the people that you want to be your best players 3 years from now, things like that. And really just Sam Leavitt being at the head of this.
The head of the snake.
Yeah.
Love that cliche.
Especially because of who he reminds a lot of people of,
Jake
Plummer. Consider what Kenny Dillingham said at one point last season when he was talking about, I'm really happy that my career is tied to Sam Leavitt right now.
Yeah.
Sam is the perfect guy who can just take this thing, lay the foundation, bring that surprise run, but then also beyond that, he's getting ready to have a potential Heisman run, and that's obviously something we haven't seen at Arizona State.
We'll get to that.
But yeah, and don't just take it from us. Hear it from Kenny Dillingham, straight from the head of the snake.
Head of the snake. Yes. Kenny spoke on This was from his ESPNU interview, and he was asked how they keep the sleeping giant awake. And I thought it was interesting because he kind of didn't answer the question, but he still gave an interesting response.
It's never been done. Anything that's never been done is challenging.
Yeah.
So we're embarking on a journey of something that's never been done in the history of the institution.
Right.
And that's what makes it fun. Why would you want to do something that's been done over and over again and insert yourself into a system that you already know the result, which is college football? Mm-hmm. Most people insert themselves into a system where you already know the result, or you're within one game of the result. I can predict your 4-year career within 4 games of your win-loss record before you play it down. Your value to that place is minimal. Where can you go and stamp yourself in history? We can be a part of something that's never been done.
All right. Why I thought that was interesting is it again shows just how dedicated and how much Kenny Dillingham loves being here. And again, he could take a job at a more established school where he said, you could basically know the win and loss record for a player for their 4-year period. But he wants to go somewhere where, he can actually build something. And why I think that they're going to be able to sustain this is because, again, he like he talked about, he has so much fun doing this that I see the sleeping giant not being a sleeping giant. I just think it's going to be awake.
Have more fun working harder than anybody in the country.
Exactly. And I think what Kenny Dillingham said, it resonates with what he's been saying all year. You guys doesn't matter what happened last year, which he said a lot. You guys are the future of this program. Just worry about what's next, not what was in the past. And that's the same for last year, or it's the same for what this program has been for a long time.
There's a lot fewer programs who can do it 2 years in a row than can do it 1 year in a row, whether
Correct.
you're in the Big 12, Pac-12, any conference.
Now, other takeaways from media days, and I just want to start with this real quick, and I talked to you both about this earlier, specifically the coordinators and how they operate. For both coordinators, I think it's easy for them to call plays and not worry about the consequences because they have Kenny Dillingham at the helm. I heard him talk about it in a scrum yesterday, basically saying that the buck stops with me. If I don't like the play, I'll change it. If I like the play, I'll say go ahead. He has the veto power as to whether or not they can go. And he says he's always in there. Like, he always wants to take a shot. He always wants to play cover zero. He always, so it balances itself out, number one. And number two, it gives those coordinators confidence because Kenny, for lack of a better term, can be the fall guy on some of the decision making. And it doesn't make it so that the coordinators are going to be beat up in the press, in whatever it may be. It's Kenny's decision. He's going to fall on it. And I love that from a leader.
I think it's really interesting that you bring up the coordinators just because I think we've started to see it a little bit in the spring already, but the amount of fun they're going to be able to have this year with the returning personnel that they have on both sides, and with Sam having a year under his belt and not being a guy who's never started in college before, that's a huge gap. The defense coming back with 7 or 8 starters, or even more, I think, is a huge, huge thing for Brian Ward to have. I mean, they were already trying super fun things with their defensive fronts and, where the pressures come from. And that's big for Brian Ward already, even before he has this, immense group of talent returning. And so I think we're going to see the coordinators just kind of put on a field day this season where they're able to do everything they want to do within their offense and defense and not feel held back by the personnel at all.
All coordinators make mistakes.
Right.
All coaches make mistakes.
And they're getting better.
They're going to make their mistakes. But the main point that I'm trying to make is that they're not going to care. They're going to just move on to the next play because Kenny Dillingham gives them that confidence.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be.
Jesse, any other main takeaways from media days?
So I really liked hearing Sam on multiple platforms. He was asked a lot about, all the attention that he's receiving, and rightfully so, he's receiving this attention. And, I found him to be confident but not cocky because, he's like, oh, yeah, I've asked for this pressure and things like that. But he also was like, I could have had a better year last year. Like, I thought that I don't really know if he could have had a better year
He's
last
a sicko.
year, but
A full-on sicko.
yeah, but in a good
Using
way.
Chris Paul quotes.
But yes, anyway, he said he could have had a better year last year. Like, he could just be coming in here and being like, oh yeah, I'm the man. I'm Sam Leavitt. I'm Sam the man, which doesn't really rhyme, but kind of can. And then,
Bars.
he could be he could be coming in here and, acting like...
There's the gap. There's the age gap right there. That's it. That's our age gap. When he says bars, that we don't say that.
I've said it before.
But not on the air.
No, I haven't said it on the air. But yeah, he comes in. He's not one of these guys that's super arrogant. I hate to use this as a reference, but because I like him. He's not the Shedeur Sanders approach. Like, he comes allegedly, yeah. He comes in here with confidence. Like, he totally knows he's good, but he definitely recognizes that he could still get better. And I guess job's not finished kind of situation. And I really like that. Another thing I took away with, and I know Jeremy doesn't really love this approach, but
wait, can I talk about Sam's approach real quick?
Yes, go for it. Go for it.
I just think that he knows how much work he puts in, and because I mean, he does. He spends hours and hours in the film rooms, whether you talk to Jordan or Marcus Arroyo, and anyone would tell you that Sam Leavitt puts in an insane amount of work. And, Kenny talks about if you're going to be confident, you better be good enough to back it up, and you better have the work that everyone else can see that you're putting the work in to back it up. And so I think that everyone with Arizona State sees the work that Sam Leavitt puts in. They see how he leads the team, and that's why I don't think it's like a big deal for them, because it's also just who he is. It's natural and it's not forced, and Kenny wants people to be who they are.
Exactly. And my second takeaway was Kenny talked about, overwhelming the players with noise. I don't know if Jeremy loves this, but I like it. Just in noise, I mean just like all the positivity that they're receiving. For example, when he played "We Are the Champions" over and over and over again.
Weird.
I think. Yes, you find it weird, but I think
it's effective though.
I think I've gotten it. I think I've gotten what he's really doing.
Right.
I promise you guys, after those 3 days, everyone was annoyed with that song.
Exactly. He's bombarding them with positivity to the point that it's just
monotonous.
White noise.
Let me be clear. Kenny Dillingham can do whatever the heck he wants, and I can disagree with it. But if the players love it, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if me personally, if
I usually agree with Kenny Dillingham on most things, by the way.
if I'm given a bunch of positivity, praise, all that all the time, it's like I'm going to be like, okay, how can I get better? Can somebody please tell me how I can get better? What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
There's definitely something I can do better. That's just how I am naturally, and I think that's how a lot of athletes probably are. They work hard, they want to get better. And so I think just hearing so much praise all the time, it's like, oh my gosh, come on, tell me something I can do better. And I think that's going to pay off mightily this season. And again, like I've said, I think they're going to be better this year. I know that it kind of seems like there's a little bit of like mixed feelings about them going in, and we'll get to that with the Sam Heisman odds. But again, which I don't understand. It's just like they can't get respect.
They don't need it.
And they don't. But I think
the only people they want respect from are in that building.
Exactly. And probably their families.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I'm sure. You guys are getting me so off track today.
I just we have other things to talk about.
We do. I'm just saying that I think that Kenny doing this is going to really pay dividends for this team this year, because I just think they're going to be motivated. And they're going to be tired of the praise. They're going to be
internally motivated people.
Exactly. Internally motivated and tired of the praise and ready to
Can we get to the Sam Heisman odds stuff?
Yes.
All right.
Jamin, do you have any
I'm cool to go to Heisman stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, we're running out of time. I'm sorry, Damon.
No, it's okay.
Jesse used it all.
I'm sorry.
right.
I'm passionate.
Number one Heisman. This is via BetMGM for the Heisman odds. Arch Manning, number one. Nussmeier, number two. Jeremiah Smith, number three. Cade Klubnik, number four. Drew Aller, number five. Dante Moore, number six. Lenore Sellers, number seven. Julian Sayin, number 8. DJ Lagway, number 9. Carson Beck, number 10. John Mateer.
Ooh, it's 12.
It's 12.
Sorry. Just kidding. Sam Leavitt's tied with a few people.
I'm waiting.
We can say he's tied 10th.
I'm waiting for somebody.
Sam Leavitt is tied with Carson Beck and John Mateer at plus 2,500 to win the Heisman.
Like 10th or so.
All right.
Here's what I'll say.
Okay. Say it.
I don't mind it.
Why?
I don't mind the list.
Why?
I don't mind it.
Can I explain how betting works?
Okay, sure, you can. But first off, Carson Beck was terrible last year. Absolutely
he's
atrocious.
In a better situation, right?
I don't care that he's in a better situation. I don't know how you could.
I don't think he's in a better situation for a quarterback.
He was at Georgia.
That's clearly not a good situation for a quarterback.
Oh,
like how many quarterbacks go there?
Because the guy that's with the Rams now is.
What's his name?
I'm forgetting.
Stetson Bennett?
Stetson Bennett.
Not a very good quarterback.
Definitely one of the best college quarterbacks of all time.
Agreed.
one of the best college quarterbacks of all time.
Yes. Statistically, yes.
Yes. Was an incredible college quarterback.
Disagree.
Okay, whatever. You can just be wrong. And yeah, but Carson Beck and John Mateer, he's really good.
Okay,
really good
these
player.
Are not the people you should be upset about. It should be Dante Moore and Julian Sayin, the people who haven't played.
And Lenoris Sellers from South Carolina.
Well, he's played at least.
I understand that. But like I think this is based off of, these are big programs, bias, all that stuff.
Let me tell you how betting works.
Let me finish my point. The South Carolina thing.
Jesse's talked this entire episode.
They're in the SEC, but they're not a powerhouse program. They're not a powerhouse program. So I'm sorry, having him above Sam Leavitt is ridiculous. Bro was in the college football playoff, had a really good game.
When we were in college, I could just turn off Jesse's mic when he talked to me. Why can't I do that?
Okay, I'm just not going to finish my point because of these bozos.
Oh, bozo, he
Wait,
said.
what was the point?
The point is
Arrive
that
at the point.
Sam is way too low, and that John Mateer, Carson Beck,
cares?
DJ Lagway, who played for Florida.
Sam
Florida was
doesn't
terrible. I don't care that he doesn't care. I care. Garrett Nussmeier, since when has LSU been relevant?
Damon, your
Okay,
thoughts?
my thoughts are that betting...
Too much time. All right, let's... I'm just kidding. I'm
Betting is based on how people are spending their money.
Yes.
And
so, like, if this were a list where college football analysts put players on who they thought would win the Heisman...
That would be much more egregious.
Yes.
So these gamblers aren't paying attention.
A lot of these, first of all, bold of you to have any intellectual faith in gamblers. Number two, like, there's a lot of people who are just going to vote for their favorite team. And a lot of these programs are programs with a lot of fans. And so it makes sense that it's Texas, LSU, Clemson, Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State again, all at the top. Arizona State being in the top 10 would be a shock if it's considering international betting numbers like a betting odds list would. Like, that's all my opinion on it is.
Enough of the logic.
And Sam Leavitt doesn't care. He doesn't care about the Heisman odds on July 9th.
Jesse,
he cares about how the Heisman finishes in January.
You know what Jesse cares about? That Avery Johnson is only plus 1,500 less than...
I'm happy that Sam's above him. Avery Johnson, the quarterback of Kansas State, I don't find to be the most talented quarterback I've ever seen.
Oh, that's very generous.
I'll go a little harsher here. He plays like a fish that's flopping on land.
Okay, that's enough. We can get into the uniforms now, right?
Yeah.
You got any more thoughts on Heisman, Jeremy?
No. Quickly.
Ridiculous. People don't watch ball.
So we got,
or no ball.
We saw the new uniforms that came
Some of
out
them
on Monday. I'm getting there. 2 new uniforms that came out on Monday.
Primaries.
We're expecting the black unis to come because obviously they have a blackout jersey every year. And Damon, you said, I wasn't here for this, but when you guys talked to Graham Rossini, he said that they were or are expected to have black unis again.
Cool things incoming is what he said.
Mm-hmm. So we're expecting more.
And then
love the new jerseys. Love that it has Arizona State across the chest. They did not have that last year on the maroon ones.
Yeah, they
on any of them.
They look very much similar to what ASU's been wearing, except they say Arizona State, and then the big change is that the primary home helmets are Sparky logo, and then
which is basically how the season ended. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the pitchfork logo. A lot of people don't, and I like that they still have it on the white uniforms. Those look super clean.
I think it definitely looks much better on the white out.
And they'll still have it at midfield for most games.
Yep.
The pitchfork. So I think having it be there, they'll have it somewhere on the uniform. Sometimes they'll have them on the pants as well.
Mm-hmm.
So having the pitchfork there is fine, but I think Sparky is the way to go for the helmets for sure.
Yeah.
So we got the maroon and gold one. We got the all white one. We presume that the black ones are coming.
And then obviously.
And then we think maybe an all maroon or an all gold.
Or they're probably going to get gold ones.
Or Pat Tillman one as well is on the table.
So there's got to be more than just 2 more.
I like the all golds that they wore last year with the white helmets that had the big Sparkies on them. I think
the
that's
slouched
a good look.
Sparky, as he's known, I believe.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Well, I like that. I just call it the big Sparky logo. I like that a lot.
It's a good uniform for sure.
Yep.
All right. Final thing to talk about.
We're burying the lead here.
We're so burying the lead. And I have more takes about Sam related to this.
We played.
We don't need to go through those. We don't have time for those.
For the
No, we
first
do.
time, we played College Football 26.
Yep. EA Sports College Football 26.
It's in the game.
It's a video game. If you aren't familiar with video games,
Damon happened to beat Jesse
And Jeremy.
and me, and then Jesse said that I didn't want the smoke, so I played Jesse, and I beat him.
Ooh,
yeah,
Jesse
and in
0-2.
3-minute quarters, I would have beaten
Jesse,
you.
I
if we
beat you in
played
every video game we ever played.
Yeah,
Jesse 0-2.
not true.
When was the last time you beat me in a video game?
I
Never.
beat you in 2K.
No,
All right,
you didn't.
okay. So here's what's wrong with ASU's roster in CFB 26.
Yeah, this is the real meat and potatoes here.
Ian Hershey is on the roster, even though he's listed on Texas Tech's roster.
Is he also on Texas Tech's roster? Did we check that?
I did. Well, I didn't check in the game if he's on that one, but in real life, he is on the Texas Tech roster.
Yeah.
Spent the money on Ian Hershey too, huh?
Yeah, that oil money going long in
Yeah.
Texas Tech. There is a safety named McDonald. I suppose I didn't check this, but I assumed it was Kyan McDonald. He is not on the team anymore. And then thirdly, and most importantly, Jesus Gomez is a righty kicker in the game, even though in real life he is a southpaw.
It's the first thing I noticed.
Yep.
Yeah, that was weird. I'm sure that the game will fix that, but it's very
I
funny.
don't know.
Yeah, it was just
I don't know
early
if they will.
access. It was just early access. Patch is coming, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, the
Yeah.
game isn't technically out.
Is that?
until
I don't know if
Friday.
that is that something that they really. I haven't
I
seen
mean,
anybody
surely
else talking
people will
about this.
complain about it. Well,
I
I mean, the
haven't-
game's not out yet.
This is important.
It's something I'm going to ask Kenny about. I'm going to say, hey, did you notice that your
Let's
kicker?
not ask
I
Kenny
hope
about
you
it.
pick a good time to ask.
No,
him.
yeah, it'll be like
not do
fall
that.
camp media scrum.
Not even a scrum.
Random Saturday.
And then so Sam Leavitt 93 overall.
91.
91
91.
overall?
I think.
Jordan Tyson 94.
Yeah, and
Apparently
Jordan
he can't
Tyson,
run.
94.
He feels so slow in the game.
Yeah,
Well,
he
I
looked,
did not have that experience.
yeah,
with Sam.
He looked.
Oh,
so no.
Well, I
it's-
mean, I did not have that experience either. I was running all over you guys.
yeah, you were running all over me because you played it as ASU against me.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he did look a little slow-footed. I would say.
Inaccurate on the
To them.
medium.
Yeah, and
routes, too.
inaccurate on the medium throws, which was
Not
weird.
when his feet are set.
But yeah, there was one throw that Damon made, wide open receiver, and he was low. So the game
Happens.
got
User error.
the game got some things wrong about Arizona State.
That's okay. It's just early access. They'll get it right.
It's also a video game.
The intro was good. I mean, we saw
Pat Tillman
yeah,
statue.
Yeah,
Drone show.
They
That's
play
a little
the
cool.
the fight song.
Yep. Good stuff.
Jesse also we got to see Enter Sandman, so that was cool.
Virginia Tech,
on,
yeah.
on
Yep.
Virginia Tech.
Happy for Jesse.
Um,
Go Hokies.
yeah. So yeah,
I
that-
do.
That was good.
I do think that just like they did with Virginia Tech and Enter Sandman, I hope that they can somehow.
Stomp the bus.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. For next year's game, they can somehow talk to ACDC and be
Or
like,
like
hey,
some Hell's Bells on the kickoff.
yeah, exactly. Can
Do
we
you
get?
understand how hard it is to get ACDC to agree to anything?
Yeah.
I don't
They-
know
they
that
are the
about
worst
them.
at that.
Okay, I did not know that about them, but that would be cool if they could do that because it really
Money
does
talks,
bring.
Jeremy.
I think ASU's intro, especially this year, is going to be really fun, and it is a pretty great intro.
Oh.
So-
Sounds like someone with sources.
No, he's saying like with the more people in the stands.
No, I think with more people in the stands this
Oh.
year and everything, it's gonna be fun. So I hope that they
Thought
can.
he'd seen the intro.
I hope they can somehow incorporate
Just be
that
the same
in.
thing that they've had since 2014.
Yeah, I hope they can incorporate that into the game because Stomp the Bus is a great intro.
So it'll be it'll be in the game. It's in the game.
Instead
Okay,
of
great.
Sparky
Enough.
putting
That's
the
enough.
pitchfork into the
That's
field.
enough.
That's going to do
threads?
it for this edition of State of the Sun Devils. Thank you so much for listening and watching. You can find us on all forms of social media. At AZ Sports Devils is where you can find us. You can find all of Damon's articles on everything you need to know about Arizona State athletics on the Arizona Sports app and arizonasports.com.
Brought to you by Wi-Fi.
And wait, we have threads?
We have threads.
We do have threads.
We do
yeah,
have threads,
we'll
yeah.
probably post some photos there at some point.
Probably not. Thank you so
Thanks.
much for listening. For Jesse Morrison, Damon Allred, I'm Jeremy Schnell. We'll talk to you soon. That was wild.
Sorry for talking so much.
Certainly my most unhinged episode, and I think it's just because I was getting annoyed of never talking.
I'm sorry, Damon. I had a lot to say.
Maybe try having less to say.
Okay. Thanks for the advice. I